Hello friends, in this video we will learn about cryptography, what is cryptography and how different algorithms work in cryptography. And since it is a part of ethical hacking course, so it will help you in some way. So let's get started. So let's first understand what is cryptography. So as you know, cryptography changes a simple text into a secret code which nobody can understand. Although they will be able to read it, but they won't be able to understand it. So it encrypts the plain text data into unreadable format, which is called ciphertext. So the unencrypted data is called plain text and the encrypted data is called ciphertext. So now there are some goals of cryptography. The first goal is that information privacy, that nobody can understand what is written on the paper or what is written in the message. Nobody will be able to understand that. And the second benefit of cryptography is authentication, that only the recipient person or the intended person will be able to understand it, because first of all he will decode the entire message using a secret key and then he will be able to understand it, so only he can read it. So it gives authentication benefit. The next benefit is integrity, that nobody can tamper with the data, nobody can change the message in between. While the message is in transit, nobody can change it. So these are the three benefits of cryptography. So as you can see here, the plain text unencrypted data is called plain text and the encrypted data is called ciphertext. So suppose you want to encrypt this "meet me tomorrow" sentence. This is the message and you want to encrypt it. So using this table you can easily encrypt it. Suppose for this purpose you will have to choose a secret key. Suppose you choose a secret key 23. So what this means? It means that the alphabet ABC will start from the 23rd character from the right side. So if you count from here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, then on the 23rd character you will see that ABC is starting from the 23rd character. So here D becomes A, E becomes B, F becomes C, G becomes D, H becomes E, and so on. So how will you encrypt this? So for M, if you will encrypt it one by one. For M, the corresponding letter is J, you will write J. For E, the corresponding letter, the encrypted cipher letter is B, you will write B. And for T, the corresponding ciphertext letter is Q. So this is how you will encrypt this, and this is the ciphertext. So this is the plain text message and this is the ciphertext message, and you can easily send this message to anyone to whom you want to send this message, and he can, if he knows the key, this secret key, he can easily encrypt this message into this to get this plain text message using this secret key. So this is how cryptography works. Although it is a very simple example of cryptography, in reality the cryptography algorithms are very complicated and nobody can easily crack those codes. You must have seen in Hollywood movies, that communication is done via secret codes. For example, Morse code is another example of cryptographic communication. where a certain beep letter, where beep represents certain alphabet letters. So this is how communication takes place in military. So now let's see what is the difference between cryptography and steganography. As you can see, in cryptography, the message can be seen by anyone, but nobody will be able to understand it. Whereas in steganography, nobody will ever get to know that there is some hidden message embedded within an object. Suppose you let me give you an example. Suppose you are going somewhere and you want to hide something, and you hide it in your under your watch or in your secret pocket, and when you enter a premises, the guard checks you, and properly he does your frisking, and but he doesn't get your hidden object doesn't get caught by him. So that is a form of steganography where the guard did not come to know that you have hide something within your body. So this is how steganography works. This is a real life example of steganography. So in steganography, nobody will get to know that certain message is hidden within something. In cryptography, the end result we call it a ciphertext, and in steganography, when we hide something in certain object, it becomes a stegomedia. So, and in cryptography there are various algorithms, and whereas in steganography there aren't any specific algorithms. You just take advantage of the loopholes in the security to hide something, and using these techniques you can easily smuggle something somewhere. And steganography provides confidentiality only, whereas cryptography provides you confidentiality, integrity, and non-repudiation. So let's go to the next slide. So there are different cryptography techniques. You can divide the cryptography techniques into categories: classic cryptography techniques and modern cryptography techniques. In classic cryptography techniques, you can further divide it into substitution and transposition categories, and modern cryptography techniques use you can divide modern cryptography techniques into stream cipher and block cipher. Okay, then let's move on to the next slide. You can divide the cryptography algorithms in three categories. There are three cryptography algorithms used nowadays. The first one is symmetric encryption. In this encryption, you use the same key for encryption and decryption. For example, if we look at this example, this secret 23rd key is used for both encryption and decryption. So this is an example of symmetric algorithm. Whereas in asymmetric encryption methods, different key is used for encryption and a different key is used for decryption. There are different keys for encryption and decryption, and such algorithms are called asymmetric encryption algorithms. The example of symmetric algorithms are AES and DES and Blowfish, whereas the examples of asymmetric encryption methods are RSA algorithm, Diffie-Hellman key exchange, elliptic curve cryptography. Then there is another third algorithm which is called hashing. You must have heard, if you are into ethical hacking or information security field, then you must have used hashing. Hashing is the process of converting a secret message or data of any size into a fixed size, usually shorter sequence of characters or digits. The output of the hash function is called a hash value or message digest. It represents a unique fingerprint of the input data. Suppose you want to share a file on the internet. What you will do, you will create its hash value. It may be a MD5 hash or SHA-20 126, I think 1256, I think. So you will create its hash value and you will share both the file and and its hash value. And when the recipient will receive the hash value and the file, he will again generate the hash value of the received file and match it with the your sent hash value. If the hash value matches, then it means the file has not been tampered and it is the original file. So this is how hashing works. Now let's understand this Vigenere cipher technique. This is an example of substitution cipher. Okay, so let's understand what is substitution cipher cryptography. In substitution cipher technique, plain text characters are replaced with other characters, numbers and symbols. For example, if you see this, this is a plain text message, hello world, and this is the ciphertext. This is the encrypted version of this hello world sentence. So how did we encrypt it? As you can see, so the shift key value is 3. So it means that the plain text, first you write the plain text letters and then you write the ciphertext and the key is 3. It means A becomes D. Yani it means that you shift the letters to 3 places behind. So that A becomes D, B becomes E, and C becomes F, and so on. Following is an example of Caesar cipher with a shift value of 3. So how will you encrypt it? It's very simple. So H will become K, E will become H, L will become O. As you can see, O is written below L, and O will become R. So this is how you can encrypt the entire message and you can send it to the intended person, and intended person will again make this table using this shift key value of 3, and he can easily decrypt the message. So K will becomes H, H will become E, O will become L, and R will become O. So this is how he can decrypt the entire ciphertext. So this is how substitution cipher technique works. Next example is of Vigenere ciphertext. It is also an example of substitution cipher. In this technique we use a table for encrypting a plain text message. For example, I want to encrypt this message I love apple. For this purpose you will use a table to encrypt IE. And first of all I will have to choose a key also in Vigenere cipher technique. I want to encrypt this message I love apple, and I have chosen a key 11. So what I will do here is I will write the 11 word in such to match the number of letters in my message. So I will write 11, and then I will write 11 again. So as you can see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. The key will become of 10 characters, and my messages contains also 10 letters, 10 characters. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So repeat the key in order to match it with the number of characters in your message, and then we will use this table to encrypt the message. So how will we do it? So let's first encrypt this I. So I will go to the I column here, and then I will go to the L column here. So L and I, so it will become T. As you can see, it is I and this will become T. So this is how you encrypt this letter, and then you will encrypt E. So we'll go to the then you will encrypt L. You will go to the column L from this from the above from this row, from this column, L column, and then you will go to the E wali. Then you go to the row which is in front of the letter E from here. So E and O, it will become P. So this is how you will encrypt this entire message, and it becomes this ciphertext. And anyone who wants to decrypt this message, he should have this Vigenere table, and he must know this secret key. With the help of this Vigenere table and this secret key, anyone can decrypt this message easily. This is how Vigenere cipher text technique works. The next technique we are going to discuss is transposition cipher cryptography. In this technique, letters are not changed, but their order is changed. And simple encryption technique would be to write every word backwards. Suppose I want to encrypt this plaintext message. This is Mr. Instruction Pointer. So how will I encrypt this message? So I will write this word backwards direction. So first of all I will write S, then I write I, then H, then T. So it will become this. Then I will encrypt this word is. So it will first of all I will write S, and then I, and then I will write R, and then I write M. And this is how, if we write this entire message in backwards direction, it will become encrypted. And it is a simple example of transposition cipher cryptography. And one such technique is columnar cipher. A double columnar transposition was used by the US Army in the World War I, and it is just a columnar transposition followed by another columnar transposition. So as you can see, this is the example of this transposition cipher, columnar cipher. So the original message is arranged in a rectangular column from left to right and then top to bottom. First of all, you will have to choose a key. Suppose I choose a key, my key name is German, okay, and my secret message is defend the east wall of the castle. So how will I encrypt it using this column cipher? So I will arrange the message from left to right and top to bottom. So I will write defend the east wall of the castle. So this is how will I arrange the message from left to right and top to bottom, and then I will write the corresponding alphabet position of my key, and then after arranging letters in this way, the lowest number is 1. So first of all I will take this column and I will write it down NALC, and then after 1 comes 5, so I will write EHWHWTT, and then after 5 comes 7, I will write DTTFS, and after 7 I will take this 13th column, this column under number 13, and I will write EELEE. So this is how I will encrypt this entire message. So anyone can decrypt this message using this if he knows this secret key, and using the secret key he can anybody can decrypt this message. So the next cipher technique is we are going to discuss is stream cipher. So in a stream cipher, each letter is encrypted one by one, and the encryption key is changed after each letter. It is a symmetric encryption technique because the same key is used for encryption and decryption. This technique uses one-time pad. Okay, and if you want to read this, you can read this. You can pause the video and read this message, but I will take you to the practical demonstration how this is done. So this is the one-time pad OTP. Suppose you want to encrypt the message meet me tomorrow. So the plaintext message is meet me tomorrow. So what will you do? First of all, you will write the alphabet position of each letter. So M you will write 12 below M and 4 below E. So this is how you will write the numerical position of each alphabet. Then you will choose a secret key, any random secret key. Suppose I have chosen these random letters. Then I will write their corresponding numerical position in alphabet. So B will become 1. How is it possible? Because the numbering will start from 0. So A will become 0 and B will become 1 and C will become 2. So this is how you have to this is how you have to calculate the numerical position of each alphabet letter. Then you will write their numerical position. Actually this random string is called OTP. That is why it is named after this one-time pad. This technique is named after this one-time pad. So we will write its numerical position in the alphabet. Then what we are going to do, we will add these numerical positions. So we will add the numerical alphabet positions of plain text and this numerical OTP. So 12 and plus 1 will become 13, 4 plus 3 will become 7, 4 plus 20 will become 24, 19 plus 24, 19 plus 5 will become 24, 12 plus 6 will become 18, 4 plus 7 will become 11, and 19 plus 22 will become 15. Now some of you will want to understand how is it possible, how can 19 plus 22 will become 15. So for this purpose you will add the 19 and 22, so it will become 20 41, it will become 41. And then what will you do, you will subtract 26 from 41 and it will become 15, and then you will write it here. If anytime if the sum of these two letters is greater than 26, then what you are going to do, you are going to subtract 26 from the sum of these two numbers, and then you will use it here. Then again 14 plus 4 will become 18, 12 and 8 will become 20, and this is how you will do it until the entire message is you will write the numerical, you will follow this operation on the entire numerical positions, and then you will write the corresponding alphabet of this numerical ciphertext. So 13 will become N, 7 will become H, 24 will become Y, and 18 will become S, 11 will become L. So this is how you can encrypt the message. So and you can, once it gets encrypted, you can send this encrypted message to anyone. Now how will we decrypt the message? For decryption we will write it the message like this, and then we will write their numerical alphabet position, and so N will become 13, H will become 7, and so on. Then we will use the same key. So do you remember we use the same key for decryption, and we are using the same random alphabet letters for decryption also. That is why it is called a symmetric encryption technique, because we are using the same key for encryption and decryption. Okay, then we will again write its numerical alphabet position. So B will become 1, D will become 3, U will become 20, and so on. And once we are done with this, what we are going to do, we are going to subtract this numerical OTP from this numerical ciphertext. So 13 minus 1 will become 12, 7 minus 3 will become 4, 24 minus 20 will become 4, 24 minus 5 will become 19, 18 minus 6 will become 12, 11 minus 7 will become 4, 15 minus 22 will become 19. Now again some of you will question, how can we subtract 15 from 22? Actually, when we subtract 15 from 22, when we subtract 22 from 15, then we are going to get a negative value. So we will get minus 7 here. So what we are going to do here, we will add 26, because there are 26 letters in alphabet, so we will add 26 to this value, and minus 7 plus 26 will become plus 19. So we will write here 19. Then again 18 minus 4 will become 14, and so on. We will do this for this entire message. Sorry. Once we are done with this, and then we will write the corresponding alphabet of this numerical plaintext. So 12 will become M, 4 will become E, 19 will become T, and again, and this is how we will decrypt the whole entire message. So it will become meet me tomorrow, and this was the same message which we encrypted here, meet me tomorrow. So this is how you can use this is how you use the stream cipher. In stream cipher, each character is encrypted one by one. We encrypted each letter one by one. That is why it is called stream cipher. There are some benefits of stream cipher. It is faster, it has less chances of errors, and it is used when the amount of the plaintext is an unknown. For example, in audio and video streaming, or where high performance is required because it is faster. Then now let's discuss what is block cipher. In block cipher technique, we convert plain text to ciphertext block by block. So in stream cipher, we used to encrypt the message bit by bit, letter by letter, but in block cipher we use blocks. We encrypt the message block by block, and it is also a symmetric algorithm because we use the same key for encryption and decryption. So the examples of block cipher techniques are DES, AES, and so on. A block cipher has high diffusion, therefore it is harder to crack. So I will discuss the diffusion later in the video. For now, let's just understand that it is harder to crack. And in block cipher, stream cipher is faster, whereas block cipher technique is a little slower. And block cipher techniques are used when you know the transmission size. For example, in case of a file transfer, you know the size of your file, so you will use a block cipher technique to encrypt the message. So this is the example of AES block cipher technique. So for the purpose of demonstration, I will use AES encryption technique here. So as you can see, AES is a secret code that is really good at keeping information safe. It works by taking secret and key and using it to scramble the message into a bunch of tiny pieces called blocks. Each block gets shuffled around in a special way, so it becomes really hard for anyone else to unscramble the message without the secret key. AES is used in lots of places where people need to keep information safe, like online banking and private messages. So let's see how encryption is done in AES. Suppose you want to encrypt this message hello. So how will you encrypt this message using this AES encryption method? First of all, you will choose a key size. So AES in AES you can use these keys. You can use either 128 bit or 192 bit or 256 bit. For this for the purpose of this tutorial, let's use 128 bit key. Okay, so now the next step is to generate a secret key. The secret key is used to encrypt and decrypt the message, and let's use the key my secret password for this example. And one important thing we need to mention here is that the secret key length should be 16 bits, because there are 8 bits in 1 byte, and the secret key should be a multiple of 16. Okay, so the next step is pad the plain text. AES works on a fixed length blocks of data, typically 128 bits. If the plain text is not a multiple of 128, it needs to be padded with additional bits to fill out the last block. So as you can see, this hello message is of 1 2 3 4 5 bits. this encryption this plain text message is of 5 bits, and we need to and we need uh, 11 bits 11 bits more to match it with this match it to make it a multiple of 16. So hello is only 5 bytes long, so we need to pad it with additional bytes to make it a multiple of 16 bytes, 128 bits. So we can use a common padding scheme called PKCS7 padding, which adds bytes with the value of the number of padding bytes needed. In this case we add 11 bytes with the value 11. Okay, then in the next step we divide the plain text into blocks. The padded plain text is divided into blocks of 128 bits. Because we have chosen the bit size is 128 bit, therefore we will divide it into 128 bits block. So in this case we have one block with the value of this, and then step 5 we perform the encryption. This is the main part. So the AES encryption is performed in rounds. In each round, the plaintext block is combined with the key using a series of mathematical operations including substitution, permutation and XOR. The number of rounds depends on the key size: 10 rounds for a 128-bit key, 12 rounds for a 192-bit key, and 14 rounds for a 256-bit key. So in this case, there will be 10 rounds. And we can use a mode of operation called ECB, electronic codebook, which simply encrypts each block separately with the same key. In the 6th step, you generate a initialization vector, but since we are using ECB, so no IV will be used. Then after encrypting, after doing this step 5 and step 7, we combine the blocks of ciphertext. The ciphertext from each block is combined to create a final message. So in this case the encrypted message is this. So this is a short brief overview how AES encryption takes place. Those who didn't understand it can pause the video and read the text here to clear their doubts. Okay, so now we will discuss some cryptography terms here. So if you remember, I mentioned the term diffusion, and there is also a term called confusion in cryptography. So what are these terms? Confusion and diffusion are two fundamental concepts in cryptography that were introduced by Claude Shannon, a pioneer in the field of modern cryptography. A good cryptographic system should employ the principles of confusion and diffusion. So the confusion means that the key should not be related to the ciphertext in a simple manner. If you remember this, that this encryption key is related to this plain text message in a very simple way. It's just we have just shifted the alphabet 3 letters ahead, so it is very simple to guess. So that is why they are saying that each character of the ciphertext must depend on multiple parts of the key. The aim is to make it impossible for an attacker to attract the key from the ciphertext. So in this case it is very easy to guess, because we have just shifted the ciphertext 3 places ahead. So anyone can use hit and trial method and decrypt the message. So we need confusion in our message so that nobody can guess the key. The next term is diffusion, which means that a single character of the plain text, if a single character of plain text is changed, then the several characters of the ciphertext must change accordingly. And if a single character of the ciphertext is changed, then several characters of the plain text must change accordingly. What does it mean? It just means if I change any letter in my message, then it should reflect in the ciphertext. That's it. The next we are going to discuss is Kirchhoff's law. So it's just a simple law which states that a cryptographic system should be secure even if everything about the system except the key is in public knowledge. It just means if anybody knows the message, even if people get to know the message, they shouldn't be allowed to guess the secret key. So this is how your cryptographic algorithm should be secure enough so that even if people get to know the system, they won't be able to decrypt the message. That's it. So that's all for this video. That's the end for this video. Hope you liked it. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.